ride-hailing giant Gojek has transformed urban mobility in Indonesia before expanding across Southeast Asia. In 2021, they merged with e-commerce platform Tokopedia to form the GoTo Group, further cementing their position in the region's digital economy. But success comes with fierce competition. Gojek operates in a market where consumers instantly compare prices across apps, driver incentives directly impact service quality, and promotional strategies need constant innovation to retain customers. And behind all this is a legal team working day and night to ensure compliance and a smooth ride ahead. Gojek has expanded across Southeast Asia. What legal or regulatory challenges or hurdles that's keeping you up at night?
So Gojek might look simple as just an application on the phone, but in the background of it, Gojek is it's quite a complicated business because it involves a lot of parties. There's your customers, your drivers, your merchants, and your suppliers, and etc. So it's a very big and complicated business that requires the interaction and friction of a lot of parties. Now, of course, the bigger the ecosystem, the more intersection of interest exists, right? And so there's a lot more attention that needs to be paid to all these parties. And also, because of that, there's a lot more attention that is given by the government, right? We've become so big that the government is causing, or at least is looking at us as a big contributor to the economy. And apparently they want to know more about our business, right? So in consideration of that, all the parties that are involved, what our business does, and now that we're a public company, of course, there's attention to the aspect of gig worker rights, labor laws, competition, data protection, and compliance, right? Those are like the big buckets that we see that often cause us a lot of sleepless nights.
Right. So it seems like internally you have to deal with the intricacies of the technology and frictions between parties, and externally you need to worry and keep tabs on regulations. So in your role at GoTo Group, how has the delivery of the legal service itself transformed to meet the demand of the explosive tech growth at the platform?
Well, Gojek's business is a very competitive business in a way where the customers are quite demanding on development of the features of the app, and also, of course, looking at our competitors left to right? So we need to make sure that we develop as quick as we can, but of course on the framework and on the foundation of a legal analysis that can be relied upon, and also that can be used and continuously, and also in consideration of a long-term relationship, right? So we have to make sure that it's not just for today, the advice that we give, but it's also advice that would sustain to the extent this product evolves or develops other features and is easy to roll out, and also to be receptive by the customers, and also in anticipation of competition.
As GoTo Group continues to innovate, do you sense that, are you worried that it's getting harder and harder to maintain necessary guardrails while at the same time continue to encourage bold innovation in the tech space?
Not necessarily. I have a large level of trust and respect to the business, where we have a good relationship. We work hand in hand. The business always takes consideration, consulting the legal team to make sure that the initiatives that they make are prudent but efficient, right? And also sustainable. So it's not just something that we can be rolled out today, but it's something that can sustain any kind of change in the market or any kind of restriction or attention that's given by the government in terms of how it's rolled out. So we're pretty confident in that. Yeah.
Throughout your career, you had a ringside seat to C-suites across Southeast Asian companies. How do you see the role of legal teams and general counsel has changed over time? What's the new face of general counsel today?
Oh, it's changed profoundly. So I've been in the business for 23 years now. And when I started in private practice, we always thought that the 10-page advice was sufficient for our clients. But now that I've moved or evolved from private practice to in-house, I could see that the 10-page advice, of course, is no longer necessary. It's more of a 5-minute in the elevator kind of advice that's needed now by the business. Second to that, in the beginning, in-house is sort of only seen as, okay, here are the people that need to review our contracts. Here's the people that we need to talk to only when we have a problem. And here, fix it up when that problem arises, right? But now it's more of, look, I want to roll out a new product. I want to establish a new kind of relationship. What's the best way to do it? What's the most efficient way to do it? What is the way to do it so I don't face any kind of negative friction or negative impact in the long run? So it's a conversation that happens way before the relationship is established versus a long time ago where they were just talking to us when issues would arise, right? That's another aspect to it. I think the last aspect to it would be around the emergence of AI, the emergence of keeping things more efficient, technology, about bigger transactions. Previously, transactions of mergers, acquisitions could happen or would have to happen for months on, but now like 1 month, 2 months, it's super quick. Things go really fast. The capability of our lawyers nowadays are so robust and very competitive and very business oriented. We're able to assist in our clients, or in this case, our stakeholders, to close these transactions at a quick pace in order, again, to accommodate competition, accommodate social media leakages and matters of that, right? So it's the involvement that I've seen when I've started back in 2002 up until now. 2025 has been tremendous, and it's exciting to see where the legal profession would go after this.
Where's this next big opportunity we are seeing or we're looking at that legal teams today can support growth at emerging markets?
What I've seen in Gojek itself is that we tend to repeat history. So initiatives that maybe happened 5 years ago that didn't happen would tend to come back for now, right? Because it maybe didn't work at that time, but now it can work now. So what that means to the legal department is that when we give advice, we need to make it as robust as possible and as extensive as possible, thinking about all the considerations. So we save time and are efficient when history repeats itself again, right? So we need to make sure that our advice is as robust as possible, and then using technology also to keep that advice in a place that's secure. So when it happens again, we know where to go and go back and find that advice, right? And use it again, because the laws that are applied or applicable at least for Gojek business doesn't evolve that much. And so the advice that we use tend to recycle and reuse again. And so we need to be quite at least smart and efficient in terms of issuing advice that we can actually reuse again. And using technology to do that, to retract that, to move back into history and say, hey, I've actually advised something about that in the past, and apply standards or at least procedures in order for us to be able to go back to the past advice that we issued to be used again in the future.